Alola! I'm the official name rater. My job is to look through the first page of Google, review the nicknames provided by the internet, and then give my recommendations at the end. Today we're looking at Magearna. Magearna is an interesting Pokemon in that it's the first Pokemon to be distributed via QR code, and you can actually still use it today. If you have a copy of Sun and Moon, be it vanilla, I don't know if Ultra works. I think it's Vanilla Moon. The QR code works with that. You can still redeem it. All you gotta do is create a new save file, scan that hoe, and you're good. You can make as many Magearnas as you want doing it like that. Why is there a table of content? 40 perfect nicknames. Here are the nicknames. And it's like a Wikipedia. Carbink! Alright, well, you know what? I actually feel like I recognize this because I want to say I was looking through something with this specific format before, so they had pictures, and we ended with a racial. Oh yeah, it was Guzzlord, right? But it ended with a racial slur. Okay, I don't remember which episode this was. It was in Alola, but I do remember something like this. Anyway, Iron Maiden's a good choice. That's actually really good. Named after the rock band, named after the torture device. I personally use it for my Steelix, but you can't argue that Carbink does not look like a maiden made of iron, so it's totally fitting. Iron Skin sounds like what it would be called if it was a paradox form. So I'm going to reluctantly acknowledge Tinkerbell, because I mean you see that with plenty of fairy types, so it's like, okay, it's a fairy, I suppose we can acknowledge it, but there's significantly better fairy type Pokemon you could be giving this to than just Magearna. Like, I feel like Rabombi had Tinkerbell as a highlight, and it was one of the better choices. I don't remember. And then Xenoblade. I don't know anything about Xenoblade other than it's got Weeb Boy in it from Smash. They have English accents, and I think robots are involved, and that's it. And that's the only reason I'm mentioning this is because, again, I think robots are involved. I'll go ahead and highlight Ultron. We've seen that. Oh, did I click on it? That's weird. We've seen that in the past before, mostly from Slowpoke Tail, and I mean, that's totally fine. And then for whatever reason, like, I saw these two fused together, and Scrap Metal came to mind, which I'm pretty sure Scrap Metal is another one we've seen in the past before. Nice generic Steel-type nickname if you want to use that. I love this real quick, because I wanted to humor this stuff. I was like, what happens if we select the whole thing and search on Google, and it, you know, you can see the parentheses, but it's spelled completely different, which is just funny to me. But I was thinking, I was like, does Rosie have the last name? Could you say Rosie Jetson? Would that work? First off, would that fit? That would fit, yeah, it's exactly 12 characters. So if you want to do Rosie Jetsons, I suppose that works. Fact for you, I suppose. I have two cats. The boy is George and the girl is Jane. They were not inspired by the Jetsons, but it was a fun coincidence. The boy was given to us named after George of the Jungle. And then when we found the girl, because she was a stray, we were trying to think of a name. We're like, oh, Jane from Tarzan. And I was like, yeah, but I don't know about that. And then my sister said, but it works because the Jetsons. And I was like, done. That's it. I saw this name on that last link, and I didn't know what it was. I just thought it was nonsense. But it brought up again, and apparently this is some thing I've never heard of, some anime, so that explains it. But sure, if that strikes your fancy, let me know. What the fuck? No offense. Like, I assume this is trying to make fun of its attacking capabilities, which Magearna is pretty fucking strong. I don't know if you guys know this. It's not weak, but it also makes it sound like, you know, no offense, but that kind of shit. So that's weird. And then Naki, I saw that and I just started thinking about how Xurkitree, because I edited all those episodes yesterday. And it would fit Xurkitree when I was trying to think of, like, oh, you know, Xfinity, Comcast, like AT&T would have been a good one. I suppose Nokia could be too. I don't think it'd fit for Magearna, but what are you going to do? So this kind of made me think real quick of My Life as a Teenage Robot. I remember that show existing, but I don't remember the name. Like, I think her name was Jenny or Jennifer or something like that. So I don't know if she's got a last name, if there's other characteristics. I didn't watch it, but if there's some way you can incorporate that into Magearna, there's a nickname idea for you. Now, I don't know if the name of the episode is The Lonely or if the name of the Pokemon is The Lonely. But I don't necessarily hate The Lonely as a name. Like, I don't know, or Loneliness if you want to make it a little bit less awkward. But it kind of comes to mind, but I feel like that's probably be better for, like, Marowak. Tinker Ball is infinitely better than Tinker Bell. So you know how like 5 minutes ago, not even like 30 seconds ago, I said, hey, Teenage Robot? Apparently this is Teenage Robot. Jennifer Jenny Wakeman. XJ9, perfect. There you go. Thank you, Internet, for knowing the things that I don't. And looking at Clockpunk, I don't necessarily hate that. I think steampunk, obviously, it's what they're going for, but not terrible. Okay, I kind of want to highlight a few of these. So, I don't know. I don't know what this one is, but Robitch, maybe? But I just kind of, like, I looked at it, I was like, oh, Rob, like, robotic operating buddy. There's an idea for you. If you want, or Wally. You know, you want to do that? That's an idea for you. And then I like that he said, honestly, I nicknamed mine Bellin. That's how you know he's English. Going up here, 03. I don't know why, but I like that. That's just a simple name. Like, we've seen 02 all the time in fiction. Like, Kirby comes to mind, and I'm positive there's another thing. But what about 03? What about 05? Clink's mom. Metaton. Metaton is one where it's like, it's funny. I know everyone's always going to think about the death by glamour and the legs and all that, but to me, I really like the first half of Metaton better, where he's just a giant box that asks trivia questions. That to me is significantly more entertaining than the dancing over the top glamour shit. Just IMO. So, I don't know, for me, like, Metaton, I'd want it to be something like those, you know, like in Futurama, that big old speaker robot, or like a vending machine, or something huge and boxy. I feel like I would rather use for Metaton personally. Okay, well, we've reached the bottom, and for a mythical, honestly, it's way better than I expected. I did click on this just because I was curious. I was like, what about original? And it's like, oh yeah, that color scheme. I don't know how you're even ever supposed to get that, because I'm pretty sure, like, it's, I don't know. I want to say it's not real, only hacked people have it or some shit, but I could be crazy. Spreadsheet's empty. I will tell you, Iron Maiden is definitely the most popular choice. I also saw Baby Metal like 3 or 4 times, which blows my mind because I'm like, why? It's legitimately not interesting or a real thing or anything like that, so I don't fucking get it. But it's just what people wanted to, and there's your Tinkerbell, your Tinkle Ball, Robo Rabbit, which wasn't good either, but whatever. The highlights for me were just Iron Maiden, but also XJ9. That's a good way of doing Life as a Teenage Robot reference, while having a nickname that's going to stand out and not going to confuse anyone, and it works and it's different, you know? That's good. Code names are good. Dark Knight, better than Batman. Or Bruce Wayne. I don't have any comment suggestions. Yeah, I showed you the spreadsheet's empty. So, any other ideas and suggestions you have, feel free to put in the comments below. Give a thumbs up to the ones you think are good. Let us know what you'd use, what you'd recommend. If you don't have a Magearna yet, and you still have a 3DS and one of the Gen 7 games, get yourself one before the opportunity somehow delete. Actually, you know what? If you don't have Pokemon Home or Bank right now, it's probably impossible and you can't really transfer it. Way to go, Nintendo! It's great.